Good evening, good evening, good evening, gorgeous rock stars. How are we? Happy Tuesday. How's things with you? I hope that you're fine and dandy. I'm nipping in this evening to have a little bit of a chat about trust. Trust. Could go anywhere, this conversation, or it could go in a number of different directions. Might go in them all, might just go in one or two of them. Might, who knows? Who knows? If you're watching live, come on in, say hi. Let me know if you are here. If you're on the replay, you're equally as welcome. A little bit of lip gloss. Hello there, Becky Coop. Hello, hello, Trudy Core. How are we this evening? How's things with you? It's very dark and chilly now. But that's all good, that's all good. So how are we all this evening? Come on in, say hi, let me know that you're around. So I want to talk a little bit about trust, because there's a number of things that have been coming on my radar recently, a number of things that I want to discuss with you, a number of things that have been coming up. And the first one is, I don't know if you saw it or not, but earlier today I shared a little post that the very lovely Vicky Nicholson had put out on her Facebook page. Now, what Vicky was talking about was the things that kind of she wished she'd known right at the beginning. So it was the whole sort of spectrum of where she wished she hadn't spent her money, where she wished she had spent her money. And she wrote something very, very lovely about me at the bottom of the post, about the help and support that I provide to her in her business and in her business growth and evolution. And it was a really interesting one, because it got me thinking about how often, you know, lots of my rock stars will tell me that, you know, there's this whole sort of self-talk that goes on about what they are and aren't able to do, what they can and can't achieve, what is in their way, what is stopping them. Kind of often it's those auto reactions. So, you know, they automatically go into a panic mode, or they automatically go into the I can't kind of space. Hi Carolee. And they have lots and lots going on that is ever so very complicated. Now, what Vicky had written, and I'm just waiting for it to come up on my computer screen, was about where she felt she'd wasted money during her business journey, the 5 things that really worked on building her brand, and the stuff that didn't work so well. And then, you know, she said one big lesson and the best investment. If you want to take on a business coach and mentor, what you want is someone who has your back, gets their hands in your business, is responsive and supportive, who wants to help you grow your business and make a success, someone authentic and someone real. I was lucky enough to meet that person over 3 years ago, and she is a proper business, action-taking, kick-ass rock star. Emma Holmes, you are my rock star, and I cannot thank you enough for all that you do. You really helped me to scale my business in so many ways, but also kick my butt when I needed, but in a gentle way, to get my ideas out of my head and into the world. Thank you. Now, once upon a time, I would have taken that and I'd have gone, yeah, whatever. Not because it isn't nice, but because my own personal belief and self-talk would have been at odds with that feedback that I'd received. So what we often do is we often get lots of really amazing feedback from people. We get loads of testimonials, feedback that we make a difference to people's lives. But we tend to not give them the time of day. We just go, yeah, that's nice, thank you, and move on. Whereas if there is a little wobble and a little doubt sprout that is sat inside of your head, we allow that space to grow, we allow that to catastrophize, we allow that to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and we believe that over any external feedback that we get. Now, we're told that we need to trust ourselves. We're told that, you know, trust your intuition, listen in, you know, take the lead from what you already know. It's already inside of you, and that can be at odds. If your mindset is a little bit shitty, that can absolutely be at odds with the reality of what's going on. So what I would like you to do is to take feedback and to celebrate it, and to go, do you know what? That absolutely is the most incredible thing for somebody to take the time to say, but equally it is something that I can be proud of. It's something that I'm allowed to be proud of. Now, I don't have to go straight into self-talk, and it's not something that I entertain anymore. You know, it isn't something that would go, yeah, all right, oh, whatever, thanks, and disappear in a bucket. It's something that, you know, it's okay to go, do you know what, that's great, and, you know, I've done a good job, Vicky's done a good job, everybody's done a good job, and we're all happy, and that's really, really important. So what I want you to know is that if you're getting really good feedback from people, if you're getting support from people, and if people are saying, do you know what, the work that you do has really helped me or really supported me, or that thing that, you know, you sent me was absolutely what I needed at that time, or, you know, it's really cheered me up or brought a smile to my face or helped me make my money, or whatever it is the outcome of your product or service is, then allow yourself to be happy about that feedback. Allow yourself to believe that feedback, and allow yourself not just to throw it in the, yeah, thanks, all right, it's not what I think inside my head, but let's just carry on kind of bucket. All right, so that was the first thing that I wanted to talk about, is that we're told to trust ourselves, but sometimes ourselves is at odds with the actual reality due to a little bit of a shitty mindset, self-belief that has maybe taken a little bit of a battering, and things that have come up for us that make us not feel like we can take that opportunity in that moment, just to allow ourselves to enjoy positive feedback and allow ourselves to feel good about having that positive feedback. Oh, hello from Mini Legs. Hi, Mini Legs. How are you? I have to make sure now that I don't say very many sweary words, won't I? Eek. Eek like the mice say. So I want you to take on board when people have said that you've done a good job. I want you to take on board the nice feedback that you get. I want you to take on board the stuff that actually is tangible from the outside. Let's not just think about the fact that we need to focus on our self-talk, that we need to focus on what's coming up inside of our heads, and we, you know, not give more ground to the stuff that's inside of our heads than we do to the external support and input that we get from other people. It is really important. So have you been that person? Have you been the person that is much more likely to totally and utterly agree with absolutely everything that the doubt sprout in the head, the self-talk fairy, is communicating to us, and just go, yeah, when somebody gives us nice feedback? Have you been that person? Are you currently that person? Is that something that comes up for you? Do you kind of give it that, yeah, well, yeah, whatever, thank you, but I'm not going to give it any time, space or energy? Or are you ready to actually go, do you know what, that's great, and we are going to sit in that for a little moment and just feel proud of ourselves and feel grateful that, you know, we've got a job well done, we've done some good stuff, we've made sure that, you know, we've made a difference, and people don't just say that sort of stuff willy-nilly, and, you know, actually taking a moment to give it. Currently wouldn't say I am, says Gillian. So, you know, at the moment, if you don't give yourself that time, that space, that opportunity to just take on board the positive feedback that you get, and to share that positive feedback and to celebrate that positive feedback, then have a little bit of a rethink, because it is important that you do that, and it is important that you give that much more weight than that little doubt sprout that sits inside of your head and starts to grow into something colossal. You know, sometimes trusting ourselves isn't the right thing to do. Now, I will talk all the time about how you should trust yourself, and, you know, how you know and how you already know, and, you know, if you only implemented everything that you already know, and trust your gut on it. What's your gut say on it? You know, what's your immediate response to that? Well, often the immediate response to things is scared, or it is overthinking, or it is, you know, it's all inside of here. all get stuck inside of our heads. So what I want you to do is revel in some positive feedback. Here's some positive feedback. Emma Holmes rocks. Thank you very much, Miss Spencer. I do need to spend a little bit of time with you writing a little bit of a case study to show people the potential and possibility that is ever present in people's businesses if they are prepared to do things that are a little bit scary, that get them out of their own way and that help them to move forwards. So I want you to think about your positive feedback. I want you to think about the ways that you can enjoy it a little bit more and entertain it a little bit more and give it more headspace than the doubt that is inside of your head. Because chances are the truth is the stuff that's coming externally. Chances are the truth is the stuff that people are feeding back to you, because they're the people that you're impacting. They're the people that you're making a difference to. And even if you don't feel like you have totally got it all together yet, you know, and that you might have these little feelings of being a bit of a fraud or of not quite having it right, or however that might be showing up in your world, you know, take that positive feedback and work from it and really, you know, kind of get your teeth into it and see how you can use that to help and support you to change your own belief systems. So, as we're talking about trust and, you know, being able to have that level of trust and things, the other thing that has been coming up for me recently is, you know, that kind of trusting in getting the help and support that you need in your business. And, you know, it was another one that was kind of really relevant from the post that Vicky put out earlier today, when she talked about the fact that, you know, she'd had a bad experience with a coach. She had worked with a coach right at the outset. She'd had no accountability. She'd had cancelled calls, etc. You know, she's put that into her mistakes that she made. But then she was able to make that investment in herself again. And, you know, looking at how you can trust whether things are right for you and how you can look at trusting, you know, getting that external help in your business and, you know, opening yourself up to the stuff that scares you, opening yourself up to the pushing outside of your comfort zone, opening yourself up to external input on a regular basis can be really scary. You know, it can be absolutely terrifying. And when, you know, you've had your fingers maybe burnt a little bit in the past, or you're looking at everything through very cynical eyes, because, you know, we're all subjected to marketing messages all of the time. We're all subjected to all of these experiences that that can shape us. So it can either be a direct experience where you've had something that you invested in and you were sold the moon on a stick and you didn't even get a lollipop, or you can have heard about people who have done the same thing, that, you know, they've made that investment and they can absolutely relate to, you know, they relate to you and you can feel that, and then you get scared about making those investments. Or you can just be a little bit cynical generally, because we experience so many marketing messages in a day. Now, it's about looking at what you need, and I might not be right for you, and I totally get that. You know, I'm not pizza, I'm not chocolate, I'm not for everyone. But equally, I will absolutely show up in all of my all for my rock stars, and I will make sure that, you know, there's lots and lots that goes on that helps and supports them. You know, when I wrote a post earlier on today that I was talking about the fact that, you know, I work with individual businesses, but we are a collective also. So I don't ever work with anybody on a cookie cutter approach. You don't just get an online program that you just get sent away with. It isn't about one size fits all. It isn't about just learn this thing. It's all action based. It's all about movement. It's all about momentum. It's all about empowerment, and it's all about support. You know, as I've looked at, you know, my whole working life, the two words that have stuck out in a huge way have been empowerment and support. Being able to change your circumstances and to flourish in that change, and being supported during that change, being supported as you move forwards. And I put together a little bit of a list earlier on about, you know, what it is and what it isn't about, what is important to me. It's important to me that your confidence grows every single day, day by day, that you take control of your business, the trajectory of your business and your future, because this is in your hands. It's up to you to create it. I can absolutely empower you to do that. I can absolutely give you strategy that will help and support you, but also that will work for you, because it'll be something that is bespoke for you. It won't be icky, it won't be horrible. Changing your mindset to what can I do and what would it take. So those are two lines that I love to journal. You know, if I feel a little bit stuck, or I feel a little bit sticky, or it feels a little bit hard, you know, what can I do? Let's not focus on what I can't do. Let's not focus on what's in lack. Let's not focus on, you know, what feels restricted. Let's look at what we can do. What can we do to move forwards from here? Not only that, what would it take for me to? So if I want to bring something to life, a certain project, a certain thing, what can I do? You know, what would it take for me to ... And then you fill in, you know, the project that you're working on. So for example, I'm working on a couple of projects at the moment. They've all got their own lists based on that one question. What would it take for me to? And I just write it all down, because then I get a micro to-do list. You know, what would it take for me to bring that to life, to make that happen, to get that together? I want you to become confident in your messaging and delivery, because that will impact on your business hugely. I want you to grow your business your way, not just any generic way, because otherwise then you're always waiting for the next little bit of input. I want you to get confident in the way that your business ticks the heartbeat of your business, so that you are absolutely connected in to that heartbeat. I don't want you to undervalue yourself. I want you to develop business skills, and I go on and on and on about all the things that, you know, are really, really important. So when you're looking at trusting somebody to support you, whether that be a mentor, whether that be a coach, whether that be a virtual assistant, whatever that looks like in your business, it does take a level of trust, and it does take a level of objectivity, but also subjectivity. So looking at what do you need, what do you want, what are you looking for out of that? You know, is this person available for you to talk to? Can you have a chat? Can you not get pushed into, you know, getting your credit card out? And, you know, this is one of the big icky things in my arena, is this whole discovery calls thing. And I've been trained in the, you know, closing a discovery call, and how you've got to deal with people's objections and all of that really icky stuff, all of that really horrible stuff. Will somebody talk to you without being focused on your credit card or your debit card? Will somebody chat to you and see whether or not it's the right thing for you? Will somebody open their door and support you? What sort of support are they giving other people? What sort of feedback have they got? So when you're trusting yourself, yeah, you know what? This is an opportunity to trust your gut a little bit. And, you know, if you are not a hell yeah, then you've got to kind of take a step back. It's also really, really good to do a little bit of work to see, you know, who do they work with right now? What sort of feedback have they got? How does that look? Because, you know, there is a undercurrent of huge amounts of distrust, because there's a huge amount of people who don't care about anything but people's payment details, which is really sad. And, you know, I think it was Henry Ford that said something like, it's a sad business if it only makes money, if the only thing it makes is money, something around them lines. And it's true, because, you know, it is about so much more than that. And if you are looking to, you know, reevaluate those trust levels, there's, you know, people buy from you because they trust you, because they've experienced you, because they've had a look at the backstory, because they've got a little bit of experience of what you're like, whether that's through reading your blog or seeing you online. They've had a look at, you know, what sort of feedback and testimonials you've got, whether you threw them straight in the bin or not. I suppose that doesn't really matter at this stage, but that's something from the beginning of the video if you missed it. So it is about, you know, using your own discernment and making sure that you don't have that feeling of just not trusting a whole industry because marketing bollocks that happens, and because there are people out there that are looking to make money quickly, and there are people out there who will do whatever it takes. Which kind of goes at odds of what would it take for me to, but you know what I mean. They'd do whatever it takes, as in, you know, they'd sit on the gran, they'd shit on the front doorstep. I hope Binny Legs isn't listening anymore. I've got a bit more sweary as I've gone on. And, you know, making sure that you don't, you know, you don't write off an industry because of a bad experience or that kind of bad feedback. So I would absolutely encourage you to find the right people to help and support you in your business. Find the right people that will nurture the growth of your business, that will be on your side, that will be there for you, because that's really important. And you don't have to do it all by yourself, and it doesn't have to be kind of that, I do it and I do it all by myself. So that's what I wanted to talk about anyway. Does anybody have anything that they want to mention on that one, or that they want to talk about around that one, or any questions that you want to put to me? Because I'm here. It does look like I am a little bit blurred. Let's do a little bit of a rub there. I might be a little bit less blurred now, but who knows? Might have worked, might not have worked. Anything anybody wants to ask me, anything that's coming up for you as we talk about these things, and do a few little announcements while I'm here too, because it's always nice to make sure that you know what's going on and what's happening in the world. So what have we got? We've got, in at number 1, Big Love Your Biz is a live class that I am doing next week. It's about falling back in love with your business. It's about maintaining the love spot with your business, and it's about how, you know, being able to work with flow and with ease and get out of your own way is really good for your bottom line. Ultimately, it's good for the way that you serve your audience, but it's also good for profitability. So we'll be diving into that one next week. If you haven't already got involved and booked your place, then you really must. You really must, because it's going to be a Bobby Dazzler. Podcast today is an absolutely epic episode. Don't know if anybody who's on the line live has listened in yet, but I am chatting with Katie Brockhurst, who wrote this book here, Social Media for a New Age, which is a brilliant read. I've read it a couple of times. I'm going to keep it there because I'm actually going to take it. I'm going to take her to bed with me tonight, I think. But listen in, because we're talking about the addictive nature of social media. We're talking about, you know, whether we feel like we need to be chained to technology all of the time in order to be a successful business owner. And we're both really honest in there and talk about it. Can't wait to Big Love Your Biz. Yay! Which means Minnie Legs has heard me swear too many times. I'm sorry. All right? Don't be like Auntie Emma. She's naughty. Or what do I say to my kids? Just don't say it at school. Okay. What else have we got going on? If you're not already a part of the Beyond Ordinary Business Hub, the price is going up on Valentine's Day. It's currently 10 quid per month, and it's a Bobby Dazzler for that. So that is also happening. So what have we got? We've got Big Love Your Biz. We've got this. Today's podcast is a belter, an absolute belter. Please do listen into it, because it's a great episode. I've actually re-listened to it and really enjoyed it, even though it's my voice and it makes me go, oh, I don't really like listening to myself back. The Beyond Ordinary Business Hub is going up in price as of the 14th of February. So if you want to get in and get your rate retained at the lower rate, because once you're in, you get lifetime access at the lower rate. As long as you remain a member, you stay on the membership rate that you joined at. And then finally, we've got our 2 VIP days. I am heading to Edinburgh on the 25th of March, and we're going to have a VIP day in Glasgow. And then on the 13th of May in the northeast of the UK, at Rockcliffe Hall, we've got another chance for the VIP days. Those are the 2 remaining VIP days for the first half of 2019. So they are available for booking now. Places are tight because I do not take too many. It's Edinburgh, Jenny. We're going to Edinburgh this time, so you can come on over to Edinburgh. She thinks your bullshit button is hilarious. Amazing, don't you worry. Edinburgh. Yeah, it's Edinburgh. We're going to Edinburgh. It's booked. We're going to Edinburgh. So you girls will have to get the train from Glasgow to Edinburgh. So there is just for Minnie Legs. the second one I really like. That's my favourite. The kids go, can I play with it? I'll go, don't tell Daddy. Don't tell Daddy. Put it back onto Mummy's computer. Don't tell Daddy. So they are the things that are happening on the run up. Make sure you listen to the podcast. If you're not already a member of the Hub, get your bum in there because for £10 a month, it's an absolute steal. I can fly it up to Edinburgh, but health-wise, it might be nightmarish. Oh, bless you. Well, I hope that you can find a way, Jenny. Later in the year, we will be going elsewhere. We've got a northwest date and a south date coming up at the back end of the year. If they will be any better for you. So yeah, listen to the podcast. Get in the Hub. What else? VIP Accelerator Days. And what's the last one? Big Love Your Biz. That's the important one. So make sure that you are getting involved with all of that stuff. If there are any particular subjects that you would like me to cover, if there's anything particular that you want my advice on, that you want my support on, that you want my take on, you know, whatever it is that's coming up for you, do let me know, because I do make sure that we are covering the stuff that is important to you, that we are covering the stuff that will help you. You know, it's really important for me that the Rockstar community is about the individual and the collective. That's the big thing for me. You know, every single one of you dealt with as individuals, because you are all beautiful individuals, and, you know, you shouldn't be sort of rammed down and herded like cattle and viewed as walking purses and all of that kind of stuff, right? You're all individuals. You all have individual business needs, health needs, life needs, everything that's coming up. You know, you all have different goals, ambitions, dreams, but equally we are a collective of very, very supportive and empowering business people who are looking to do their thing in their best possible way and let the light of your work really shine through. I'll DM you about it. Absolutely, Jenny, DM away. Yay to the south, says Anna. How not to jazz hands and rabbit on a video would be good. I quite like jazz hands, so I usually go, hello, hello, hello. Jazz hands are usually quite good. Rabbit, do you mean talk too much, or are we actually doing something like this? Can I put a rabbit on? Have I got a rabbit? Let's see. Emma always gets silly, doesn't she? It always happens. We get going and then we end up going silly. This is going to be as close as I'm going to get, I think. Talk to change your voice. I hope that's not too tragic. Oh my gosh. What have I done? I don't know how to take it off. And we go inside a heart. Oh, it's Jilly's heart. Anyway, stop doing silly things. Talking too much, but I jazz hands throughout, I've noticed. Well, actually, do you know what? Just be yourself. I was once told by somebody, Jenny, that I fidgeted too much during trainings and live calls and what have you, and that, you know, that I was off-putting because I fidgeted too much. Do you know what my response was? Because if you try to be anything but yourself, it's really, really difficult. You know, what you need to do is, yeah, take on board people's feedback. Yeah, absolutely. You know, if you want to, you know, really hone your skills, then with practice, you'll be able to sort of change a few things and keep on task and things. But I like the fact that we come on here and have a chat, and sometimes we go in different directions, and sometimes we talk about things that I had absolutely no intention of talking about, and sometimes we talk for longer than I expected. Sometimes I come on for 2 minutes and go, yeah, that's all I'm going to talk about today, and that's okay. So I think, you know, just give yourself a bit of a break, enjoy doing it, and keep showing up, and it's okay. So I had direct feedback about it. One of my gorgeous clients also had direct feedback about but it is what it is, and you are the way you are, and we all have different ways of pausing. I talk with my hands. If I sat here with my hands under here, I wouldn't be able to get as animated, and I might actually end up looking a bit weirder because I might then end up going like that. I remember you telling you to talk quieter. That was funny. Yeah. No, thank you. I've been told all sorts of things at different points and different variations of time. I was also told to tone it down, which I didn't take very well. Don't take rules very well. So, I think it is just about showing up, being yourself, doing your thing, and not really caring too much about that. You should gift that, Emma. We could have fun with that, couldn't we? So, anything else that anybody would like to ask me? Anything else that is coming up for you now? Anything else that we can help and support you with? I am here, and I'm more than happy to go through anything that will be good for you. Anything at all. Little boy walking about, coughing. We can stop that. Not in for any more bugs and germs. Bugs and germs can do one. Anything else I can help and support you with? So if you go back to the beginning, we were talking about trust. We were talking about trusting the information that you are getting from external feedback. We are talking about trusting people despite the fact that other people have given you a lack of trust at certain times, and a reason not to trust. So they were the sort of big themes. I'm launching a product and haven't a clue how to do that. So Michelle, what you need to be thinking about, I look at stages of launching, and the first stage, is all about anticipation. So it's about getting your market ready. It's about market readiness. So what you're going to be thinking about is providing a level of anticipation that you've got something new coming, that something exciting is happening, giving people a little bit of behind the scenes, giving people a little bit of a sneaky peek. So whether it's a product, whether it's a service, whether it's a website, whatever it is, give people a little bit of, ooh, what's happening? Ooh, there's something exciting happening. Oh, I need to make sure that I know a little bit more about that. Because as they get that kind of sneaky peek, they feel involved with it, and you give them a sense of involvement. So I always talk about the fact that if you go to one of the budget supermarkets and you pick up a jar of mayonnaise, that jar of mayonnaise has very similar colours on the label and a very similar shaped jar to a very well-known brand of mayonnaise. Why? Because what they are doing is they are working on the fact that a brand recognition creates an ease to purchase. So when you recognise something, it's easier for you to buy that thing because you've seen it before, you've seen it somewhere before, and it becomes something that feels really already attached. I've got one of those. Yes, I have one of those too, Mel. It's in my fridge downstairs. And that is why they do that thing. They do it so that there's a brand recognition. Another way of having that brand recognition and that safety sort of feeling within people is for you to allow them to experience it even before people are ready to buy it. So that's the first point of call. Love this, thank you, really appreciate it. Pleasure, Anna. How long do I entice them for? Well, you can do, you can go for it for anything up to 12 weeks, really. You can have anything up to 12 weeks leading into a product launch. Obviously, every single thing that you talk about isn't about that product launch, but being mindful of sharing the journey of the product. I don't know how far out you are or what you're doing with it, but it's about sharing that journey so that they have that level of familiarity with it. It's about creating a waiting list then for it so that, again, they're familiar and they're waiting and they want to be first and they want to get involved and, they're then there to do the thing. then when you're actually coming to launch things, it's about the big bang. So it's about how many eyes can you get on the prize quickly. Now with products, I know myself that when I get a new book or whatever it might be that I've created, people love to watch you unbox it. People love to watch you get that box for the first time, open it up on live stream, show them what's inside, and that creates a whole level of excitement, like, ooh, what's in the box, what's in the box, what's in the box. So, you know, you then have a structure then of campaign off the back of that big bang, and thinking about, you know, how many ways can you share it, what sort of things can you be doing, where are there opportunities to get in front of other people's audiences, are there opportunities to be interviewed, can you get it in front of even more people, you know, how can you look at various elements. So when I'm working with a one-to-one client, we would create a full structure around that, and we'd look at all of those different elements. Unboxing is huge on YouTube, yeah, and particularly oracle cards and children's toy unboxing is massive on YouTube. Kids will watch other kids unboxing toys, like kids will watch other kids playing a video game. I don't get it, totally don't get it. But I also know the level of excitement when I bring a new box that has just come through my door upstairs, and I don't usually even have a knife to open it. I'm then trying to stab into it with a pen. And that level of excitement that is created, and the buzz that's created around those sorts of things. So it's about thinking about pre-launch, it's about thinking big bang, and then it's about thinking structure thereafter, and how you're going to support that campaign on an ongoing basis to provide you with the very best visibility and sales as a result. Does that help? Does that make sense? I hope it does. Anything else anybody wants to ask while I'm here? I've got a mind full of ideas, a mind full of magic, lots of magic. Thanks, Emma. Absolute pleasure, Michelle. Total pleasure. Anything else anybody wants to chat about? Anything else that is coming up for you? Anything else that I can share with you or help you with or support you in right now? The project that I'm working on, if you have a look on the page, I've just shared a couple of pictures. So again, you know, it's something about giving people that behind the scenes look, giving people that little glance and that glimpse of something that you're working on. So I've just shared a picture on the page. I didn't realise I was going live, as I wouldn't have put it out at the same time. Bit of a schoolboy error. But I'd scheduled it earlier on today because it's something that I've been working on. And, you know, that is going to be something then that gains a little bit of anticipation, that we start to look at, you know, what it is that's happening over there, and, you know, when it's ready to go, boom, and I can give you all of the excitement around it. You're really bubbly tonight, can see it around you. Oh, is it all my little orbs? Have I got my orbs out? Are my orbs here? I often get things flashing around, flashing behind me. Usually when I'm sat that way, we get even more. So they usually fall down here. Orby, Orby, Orby. Anything else I can help you with? Anything at all? Or are we all good? If you did miss us from the beginning, we were talking about trust. We were talking about trusting other people's feedback when they give you nice feedback, and not being stuck in your mindset of I'm shit, I can't do this, da-di-da-di-da. You know, if other people say nice things about you, believe it, let it happen. We also talked about if you're looking for help and support in your business, whether that be coaching, mentoring, whether that be VA support, don't let all of the sort of negativity around industries hold you back. Look at how it can work for you. Look at how you can get that help and support in your business that will truly, truly, truly support you. Then we talked about all of the things that were going on, and now we're talking about whatever you want. So if anybody does want to talk about anything particular, you've got a couple of minutes before I've got to go and do the Cubs and Scouts run. That's the next job on the list for today. So it's not as dramatic as yesterday. Straight after my live yesterday, I was going to netball. I went to netball last night. It's really good. And then I had to post to say that I'd survived netball, which again was really good. So that's what's going on here. all the good stuff. Right, I'm going to presume that you're all fine and dandy then. I'm going to let you go for your Tuesday evening. Tomorrow night we do have an episode of We Were Wednesday with a slight difference. So we're talking numerology tomorrow, and we're going to be going through lots of your numbers and, you know, what numbered year it is, how you work out your own year number, and all of that kind of stuff. So I've got the lovely Jo Soley joining me tomorrow. So we're going a little bit numerology. So we're doing a couple of different We Were Wednesdays in February. We've got Jo talking about numerology, and then we've got Sarah Cornforth, who's going to talk about running your business in accordance with the moon cycles, which again is another super interesting topic. Happy Chinese New Year. Absolutely happy Chinese New Year. What are we, the year of the pig? Are we a pig? Look, I'm signing and everything. The year of the pig. Me knows that stuff. It's amazing. Be a great night. Yeah, it's going to be, you know, a couple of great nights coming up on the Woo Woos. And would you like to see any other particular help and support? You know, do you want me to look at any particular guests? Like I say, this week's podcast is incredible. If you feel like you are becoming a bit enslaved by your social media, then you absolutely have to check out today's podcast, because it is a real eye-opener, and we talk very frankly and honestly about social media and feeling addicted to social media and feeling like we can't move away from our social media. So it's a really, really, really interesting one. Are you doing candles anytime soon? Well, I might do. Do you want some 4 candles? Is that what you're after, some 4 candles? I am more than happy to do the things that work for you, because this is your platform, this is your community. And like I said, I work with individuals who come together to make the most amazing collective. And what you want and, you know, what you ask for, I totally listen. So if there are any particular things that you want me to look at, if there are any particular people you want me to consider interviewing, including yourself, let me know. You know, we can make things happen. We can see what we can do, whether there's any guest blogs that you want to provide for us, you know, whatever it is that I can do to help and support you to build your business, I am there. You know, I am part of an absolute mission, as I said earlier, of empowerment and support, allowing you to build your business your way and making sure that you've got the tools that you need to do that, the strategy that feels right for you, and the guidance and support that allows you to be fully confident in executing something awesome, which is very exciting, and I love every minute of it. So there we go. I'm going to let you all go because I don't think there's any more questions. If you do have anything that you want to throw past me, that you want to suggest, that you want to run by me, you're not sure that you want to do it on the public platform, then do send me a message over to the page or email me, emma@rebelsandrockstars.com, and I will answer. I always answer. I'm there for you. Have a great night. Speak to you soon. Bye. Good morning, gorgeous rock stars. Happy Friday. How are we this morning? I hope that you are all well. I'm just keeping an eye on Facebook, sending out the little notification so that I can practice. There we go. A little bit of gratitude this morning. Thank you very much, Facebook, for sending out my little notification. How are we today? How are we? Come on in, say hi, let me know. If you are joining me live, if you're watching the replay, you are equally as welcome. It is gorgeous to see you. Good morning, Sarah Cornforth. I hope that your sniffles are feeling a little bit better. It's all this changing in weather, isn't it? You know, we're going from it being freezing cold to it tipping down, although I have to say, preferring the tipping down because James Arthur doesn't have to come out and scrape the car on a morning. If you haven't watched me live before and you're thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? We use James Arthur's CD to scrape our car, and my daughter very vocally tells everybody that James Arthur gets rid of all of the ice off our car. What a fabulous man he is. So, hello there. Hi, Becky. How are you? Becky's coming up because she knows I'm in a bit of a rant. ranty pants mood this week. So she's coming on to see what happens. Who knows what will happen? Anything could happen. I have bad hair today, so I do apologise for that too. Hi Liz, good morning, lovely to see you. Hi Tina, how are you? Hi Trudy, are you good? Janice, good morning. James Arthur, do you have him on standby for frosty mornings? We do. And you know, when we were in the supermarket, Maggie was looking at the scrapers and she was like, what are they for? I said, oh, they're for scraping your windscreen, darling. She went, oh, James Arthur does that for us. And the woman in the shop turned around and went, I thought he was doing quite well. Yes, he is. But he's also our friendly companion. I couldn't miss it. Get well soon, Sarah. Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, Kirsty. How are you? Lovely to see you. So this morning, I am going to ask you, are you frustrated that we are at the end of another week and you don't feel like you have made the levels of progress that you want? Now, I get particularly ranty about the fact that the industry and the online space is very, very, very much geared towards you feeling lack. Now, I asked on the Emma Holmes page that why in a world of such massive abundance do we so often operate from a place of lack? Well, I suppose it's because we're fed it all of the time. We're fed this feeling that we're not enough and that we're not good enough and that we're not doing enough and that we're not further enough ahead. And what this creates is an angst and an anxiety within us as a business owner to get that little bit more reach, to be seen by more people, to find that secret strategy, because surely underneath there's some secret strategy that I'm missing. Surely that there's something in there that I haven't quite got the hang of. And, you know, a lot of the online space is geared up to this. Now, I'm not saying that everybody's like that, but there is a good old kind of movement around playing on your lack, playing on your fear, making sure that, you know, there is this whole kind of layer of, you know, it being you're not good enough and you need to buy my thing in order to be good enough. And I am going to put this ridiculously high price tag on this thing that you need to buy, which then makes you feeling more lack, because you then go, well, if other people are buying this thing and it's £4,000 or £5,000 and I'm not buying it, and, you know, we are going to now also move into an awful lot of noise about one particular online program, which happens every February. We go through it every single year, and have done since I began. And again, you know, that's going to feel quite overwhelming for lots of people. And there's going to be a whole load of FOMO attached to that, because, you know, lots of people are going to be talking about the same thing. So it's going to feel like, you know, there's a whole stack of fear attached to not being part of this thing, not watching that webinar, not listening to that podcast interview. But actually, if you consumed it all, it'd be hours and hours and hours worth of similar content. So, you know, I think it's about making sure that you are guarding your work time well, and that you're looking at ways and means that will support your growth, so that each week isn't increasingly frustrating, so that each week isn't feeling like, you know, it's firefighting, and that you're, you know, got to the end of another week and you've let yourself down and you've let your business down. You know, do you ever get that feeling? No, I have my happy pants on. All is well, said Trudy. I like that. Thank you, everyone. And I'm super frustrated this week. No, you're not, darling. You're just not allowing yourself to rest. You know right now that you need a little bit of time away, and you're trying to bring super organised Sarah back into it to push through. Stop that. Stop that and surrender to it, lady. I'm fighting that feeling this week, said Liz. Feeling like 2 steps forward and triple back this week. And that's okay. That's, you know, totally okay. There's some suggestions as to what it is that's going to be mass marketed in the coming weeks. I may comment quite a lot on it as we go, but, you know, who knows? But, you know, again, it is about looking at actually, you know, do you need another standard business program? Do you need to be told the different elements that come together to make a business? Actually, you don't, right? You know the ingredients list. Most of you know the ingredients list. Some of you will sit there and go, I don't know the ingredients list. I actually don't. You do. All right. It's about sharing your passion with people who want to buy from you ultimately. And it's about the different ways that you can do that. What you need is the recipe. But the recipe cannot be sold to you on a one-size-fits-all basis because everybody's recipe is slightly different. I am going to send Sarah a sick note. She is getting one of those today. Everybody's recipe is slightly different. And what is important is that as individuals, you are empowered to be able to create your own recipe, that you are able to take those steps and look at actually the overview of your picture and not be overly concerned about stuff that doesn't matter, stuff that actually isn't productive to moving you forward, and spending your week chasing things that don't give you any sense of satisfaction at the end of the week. So Sarah says, okay, that's funny. And yes, I do, because my boss is mean. And yeah, we have got to stop that. We've absolutely got to stop that. Working with you allows me to sidestep the FOMO. I know that you've got my back and I have stacks of your programs and resources to tap into when I need it. Fantastic. You know, I think that that's the thing is that, you know, for me, it's about allowing you to be empowered. It's not about, you know, trying to find some sneaky strategy where we're trying to, you know, either fool the algorithm because we want to get more reach, or we're trying to you know, get something out there that is icky or forced or pushed, or feeling like we're on this hamster wheel of not creating any movement forwards. You know, it is really, really important that what we do is, you know, empowering, is moving, is progressive. And, you know, I'll often say to my one-to-one clients, we're going to stack this up. We're going to stack it step by step by step by step by step. Because I could sit here and go, right, this is what you need to know, and give you everything. And that would just completely overwhelm you. It would leave you feeling ridiculously overwhelmed, you know, because you then wouldn't be able to take action. Because then there's this enormity of what needs to be done in order to move your business forward. This enormity of what we need to be doing then becomes, you know, it becomes paralyzing. It stops us moving forwards. You know, I'll often say that I do very much see the trajectory of a business before you do. You know, I can absolutely tap into kind of the future projection of people's businesses. And, you know, I can go, right, this is what might stop you. These are the things that might stop you. And I know the things that might stop you. Anybody can be successful, but not everybody will be successful, because that all depends on self. That all depends on how you deal with it. I like the head rummaging you do. Got a lot of repurposed content and fluffability now. Fantastic. And you know, when we looked at Jenny's been trying to unclench a little bit in her writing. She won't mind me saying, I'm sure. She's one of the gorgeous Beyond Ordinary business hubbers who have been writing blogs like no tomorrow this week, have absolutely really empowered each other. And Janice, she's on here as well, been writing blogs and just being able to see a little bit of difference in wording. So I often talk about the wording going from here to here, right? Because most of you are writing, that's nice, kind of response stuff, whether that's sales pages, whether that's Facebook posts, whether that's blogs, whatever it is, right? People are going, yeah, that's nice. But we need to go from that's nice to, oh my God, yes. Look, Polly's coming to join us. There we are, Polly, look. And say hello. Say hello. You look dead cute when your ears are forward. You just don't put them forward. What's this? Show everybody how cute you are, even when you're a beast. Yeah, so it's about making those little tweaks, little changes, moving forward. Got completely distracted by the dog. I got worried about you yesterday when you went quiet. It's been a weird energy this week. Us Leos need a break too. So Janice is telling you too. Sounds like Polly agrees. Yeah, absolutely it does. Let's have a look. Yes, I'm terrible at seeking info when action is needed. That's why I signed up for Supernova. And that's really important, you know, because we do have this feeling of quest for, you know, we must be missing something. So we've got to the end of a week and nothing else has happened, but we must be missing something. We must be faulty. It must be us that can't do it. That is information is everywhere. Transformation is what's necessary. Being able to take that transformation, being able to move forward, being able to do the thing, being able to take the steps. You know, that is what is important. Morning, Emma P. Good morning, Jan. I have a hub question. Where is best to ask it? Wherever you like, Debs. You can put it in here. You can send me a message. You can send me an email. Whatever works for you, my darling. You totally know someone's business before they do. It's amazing to watch and be part of. I wouldn't be a moon-loving artist if it wasn't for you. Yeah, she is my Frankenstein monster. Oh, one of my Frankenstein monsters. Writing my blog is on the list for today. Brilliant. Let's see it get out there into the world, Emma P. Anyone want to write me a blog? Because I don't want to write one. Just get on with it. I'm sharing a blog that I wrote for you. I'm sharing the blog that I wrote for you this week. It's going out. I can tell you when it's going out. But if I write you any more blogs to go on your website, then I've written more blogs on your website than you have. So you better get on with it. It's going out this afternoon at 11 minutes past 1 because I like 11 minutes past 1. Good morning, Gillian. Polly's like, God sake, human, put me down. I'm not a Facebook Live ready. Yeah, she's reluctant. She's reluctant. She's too busy wanting to look out of that window and see what's happening, aren't you? You're too busy because you're a broken doggy, even though you're super cute. Super cute. So what I want you to know is that you can be completely empowered to take the steps that you need. You can start to look at creating your own recipe. You can get help and support without paying thousands of pounds for some sort of cookie cutter kind of approach. You know, for me, when I'm looking at the types of help and support that I give to people, you know, I'm not looking at programs and going, right, how much can I get away with charging for that? You know, there's a great big sort of movement of how much can I get away for charging for that? But that's not how I work. You know, what happens insofar as I work is I look at accessibility, affordability. Most of my prices haven't risen since 2016. That's ridiculous, isn't it? 2016. Which means that I've had to review those recently. So if you do want to be part of the Beyond Ordinary Business Hub, you have got until Valentine's Day, the day of love, to get involved at the old price. If you are in at the £10 a month price, you retain your £10 a month price as long as your membership is active. So you get to stay in there at that price. If you want that help and support, if you want to be part of that community, and it's a bloody lovely community. You know, this isn't a peer-led community. This isn't, you know, the sort of community that is icky and horrible. You have complete charge of what you are doing. If I join, is there a minimum time you have to be joined up? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm asking because hubby will have to pay up, and I'm trying to talk him into it until I start blossoming and earning oodles. Yeah, you can come for a month. You can come for 6 months. You can come for a year. You have complete control over your membership. And as you sign up and you go into the members area, the first video shows you how to cancel your membership. That's how upfront it is. Or if you can't find the way to do it, then all you do is you send me a message and we sort you out immediately. So if you want to be part of it, come and join us. It is an incredible community. And on Monday, we're going to be diving deep into mindset. We're going to have a Monday mindset call that is going to help and support you to get out of overwhelm, overthinking, out of your own way, and make magic happen. I've been a member for 3 years. I wouldn't be without it. The hub is amazing, said Trudy. Fantastic. I'm a member and I bloody love it, said Claire. Thank you. But the essence of this is that, you know, I think that the online space is designed to make us feel lack, and it is designed to make us feel not good enough in lots of people's, you know, ways that they deliver their content, and ways that they use marketing strategies that, you know, feel really uncomfortable with, ways that they use language. You know, I think that there's an awful lot of positioning on that lack point of view. And what I want you to know is that you're not in lack, and that, you know, when we look at progress and abundance and being able to move forward, it is down to you, one, sometimes having to be a bit brave, because you don't have to be fearless. You totally don't have to be fearless to build a business. You know, lots of the girls in here will tell you that, you know, sometimes it's scary. We've got to be brave enough to work despite the scary. And, you know, you'll be surprised as you grow and evolve. Sarah Cornforth never wanted to do a Facebook Live. Now you can't shut her up. Trudy was absolutely petrified of doing a Facebook Live. Now you can't shut her up. Claire Bogg had nothing to sell insofar as digital products were concerned. Now you can't stop her recording her course. You know, it is phenomenal when you have the right support, the right guidance, the right tools, and the right community around you. Magical things can happen. Becky says, I love it. Thank you, Bex. In May, I will have been in the hub for 2 years. Love it as much now as when I started. Fantastic. Wonderful. Thank you, said Debs. Yes, we'll do. I'm going for it. Fabulous. Lovely to see you. Debs, it's such an amazing value. If you take the time, you can work through so many programs yourself in the members area, as well as ask questions in the Facebook group. Imagine the ripples if we all said, no, we're not falling for that anymore, and we're going to crack on instead. Do you know what? It would make my bloody heart sing. You know, if I've been calling people out on Facebook for their spammy, not Facebook, on Instagram, for their spammy bot-led comments that they've been leaving on my posts, which has made some people uncomfortable. My intention isn't to make people massively uncomfortable, but equally, I'm not having it anymore. You know, there's so much shit out there. There is so much shit ways of, you know, thinking that you're getting the upper hand, or fooling the algorithm, or just being generally icky and putting people in in a place of lack and making people feel shit, da-de-da-de-da-de-da-de-da, right? I'm not having it anymore, because I'm seeing people spending so much money with people that isn't bringing them results, that isn't helping and supporting them, that isn't doing the thing. I'm seeing people not getting their questions answered. I'm seeing people feeling like they're flailing and failing, and I'm not having it. It's not going to happen, not on my watch. Not on my watch, and not anymore, and it's bullshit. Yes, it's bullshit. So, there we go. Emma says, I went live to talk about my new course yesterday and I was terrified. Was on for over 20 minutes and now wonder what else I can talk about. See, sometimes it's just about getting over the hump. I didn't even know how to create an online course when I first came across Emma. Now I have 10. That's amazing. It's lovely to hear these things. You know, I get feedback every single day from people who've made progress. And, you know, I do like to share quite a lot of that with you, because sometimes it's the teeniest, tiniest things, and sometimes it's the most huge, ginormous leaps. You know, for some people, it is, you know, yesterday I've signed a new client out of the blue. I've hit my income target for the week, you know, and then for others, it is, do you know what? I wrote that blog, or I'm now unstuck because of that idea that you've given me, or I've now done this, and this because of what you said. And that's just phenomenal. Every single day I get feedback like that, and it makes my heart sing. I'm on the right path. The path is on now. It's all down to Emma and the hub. Fantastic. I joined this week after waiting ages. I've been more productive this week than I've been in months and months and months. Thank you, Emma. Absolute pleasure. I've spent so long feeling unsupported. I wish I'd joined earlier. I'm paying monthly as money is a huge issue. And what we'll do is we'll help you. And that's why the hub's there. The hub is there because whether you've been in business for years and years and years, and there's girls that have in there that have been with me since the hub came to life in 2016. So there's girls that have been in there 3 years, so they're more experienced in business. There's people that haven't even started yet. But the environment in there is about progress, is about support, is about cheerleading, is about being part of something that helps you to lift yourself higher. I love it when you get a bee in your bonnet. Oh, I've got a lot at the moment, Claire. I've got a rant list. And I was saying the other day that I might do Emma's weekly rant. Because there is so much that is so bad. And, it is just, it's just awful. And I'm seeing people getting burnt by this sort of seductive push and you know, marketing over substance, and, you know, once I've got your money, I don't care, and not responding to people and not getting back to people. And it's just driving me fucking mad. Join shite, spend ridiculous amounts of money on it and leave it as frustrated as when you started. Spend 5k on a ticket, yeah. Leave feeling amazing but crash and burn the following week. Now I was talking to Trudy about this and how, you know, so often what happens is that, you know, you have that peak of excitement when you get involved with something. You have that, you know, woohoo, I am going to change the world. But what happens is it's a little bit like a drug. So it will take you up to the highest of high heights. I don't use drugs and have never used drugs. But this is the analogy I'm going with, as I spent an awful lot of time when I was first training as a lawyer with criminals. So this is the analogy I'm going with. High as a kite, absolutely high as a kite, invincible, ready to take on the world, don't give a shit, I'm doing it, I'm powerful. But out of the other side of that is the come down, and the come down often takes you lower than you were when you started. So, you know, you could meet, oh, I feel really crap, I'm gonna go, whoo, but then the come down takes you right down here. And then it's really hard to recover that. So, you know, when you go and you have to look at that recovery, you know, what it can actually do is set you back hugely, which is really sad. You were right, Becky. This was a rant worth watching. I think I've only just touched the edges, because I am massively, massively, massively passionate about this. And I'm massively frustrated about people making money out of people's fear. And I'm massively frustrated about people being, you know, feeling like they have to get certain things because they're going to miss out, and because they're going to do whatever, and, you know, because it's just, I'm just not having it. I'm just not having it. You know, that's the thing, is that what we're looking at is a nurturing, supportive environment, without it sounding like it's, you know, we're going to all sit on a cloud and everything's going to be okay. I am hugely, hugely passionate about a can-do attitude. I am massively, massively passionate about that attitude being on what can we do? What is it we can do? How can we move forward? What can we do to make a difference? How can we get to a Friday and be bloody proud rather than frustrated? You know, that is what it's all about. It's about being able to move forward. It's about being able to take the next step, and it's about feeling like, you know, you've got other people with their hands under your bum as you climb over, that are prepared to catch you, that are prepared to look after you, that are prepared to be there for you. I'm a recovering addict, and I understand the analogy. I spent a ton of short-lived highs and then days to recover. Yeah, and actually, you know, it's the same with lots of these PD space kind of things that are designed to have that narcotic kind of effect on you. They're designed to have you feeling as high as a fucking kite. But the come down is massively impactful, because if you can't sustain that and suddenly you're back out on your own and you're in the same position as you were in it, you know, it's then actually what do I do now? You know, then it is really hard to maintain it if you're by yourself, and if you then go back to your desk and you're left to just get on. In all fairness, you're describing me on a packet of Skittles. Okie dokie. No Skittles for you then before an accelerator day. No clouds there. I'm quite happy to have a few clouds, pixies and unicorns, but, you know, this is what I'm saying is, you know, we're not just sitting around going everything's going to be all right. You know, I'm all about alignment, action, empowerment, support, making sure that you're doing the right things for you, but that you're supported in taking that action, that there are people ready to help and support you, that you don't come into a group and put something in and then, you know, get no reply, or, you know, be left on your own and think, well, why did I bother? This is about you being truly supported, being part of something, and whether you are somebody who watches in on the lives, whether you are somebody who doesn't even come in and comment, you know, I know that there are people out there that are like little helicopters and they're above the clouds and I can't see them, but still the impact of the things that I talk about and the help and support that I give is there. And, you know, if you're consuming the stuff on my page, on my YouTube channel, wherever it might be, the podcast, whatever it might be, then, you know, I will always, always, always take the line of truth, honesty, you know, of real support, real help, things that will actually move you forwards. And also, you know, being as supportive as I possibly can be, because for me, that's what it's all about. For me, I'm not looking at ways that I can exit this business. I am not looking at how can I work less time. Yeah, I want to work smarter. Yeah, I want to be able to impact more people. You know, the more people that I can impact, the more that ripple grows. So if I can help Jenny, and Jenny can go on and help 100 people, and then those 100 people, it impacts their lives, and it's impact Jenny's life and the circle that Jenny has around her, you know, that then becomes, you know, massively progressive, and we get into that place of being able to do so much good bit by bit by bit by bit. I think I need more than a couple of hands on my mahoosive arse. Well, I'm sure that you don't have a mahoosive arse, for one, right? But there's plenty of hands in the hub that can help you. The one thing that Emma has taught me is that it's okay to have a shit day. Yeah, it's okay to have one of those days, and it's okay that life takes over. But it has taught me what I need to do to make those days easier. Yeah, absolutely. I'm moving forward at a crazy rate. And I'm building my path at the same time. Thing is, my mum used to always say to me when I was, you know, a teenager and quite stroppy and life wasn't fair and da-da-da-da. She always said to me, you know, what you have to have bad days to know when you're having a good day. Otherwise, every day would just be a day. And, you know, I think that philosophy is quite a good one. And equally, being able to recognise and accept whether it was a bad 10 minutes. You know, I remember, and I think it was last year, and one of my rock stars said to me that it's a crap year. And I think we were on something like the 17th of January. So page 17 out of 365. She decided that it was a crap year, it was horrible, it was awful, da-da-da-da. And I hear this all the time, you know, it's a crap week. I've got no sales this week. It's Tuesday. Tuesday. Let's reframe that. Let's have a look at. Let's move past that. Let's look at what we need to take on as our own. Let's look at what we do need to do. Yeah, let's forgive ourselves if we have a shite day. This time last week before last, 2 weeks ago, you know, I'd spent most of the evening in hospital with my little boy. We got released, I think, at about 3 o'clock in the morning. I was tired. I had to forgive myself. Yeah, I did what needed to be done, but nothing more. And that could have been, oh, well, I've wasted a day, I've lost a whole day, da-da-da. But actually, the reality was that my head was like wading through treacle, and I wouldn't have got anything great done anyway. So, you know, getting into those positions where you can forgive yourself if there is other things going on, where you can give yourself a little bit more space, where you know, the thing, right, so here's the thing. If you had a job, would you be at work? Would you be at work? Would you put a day's holiday? Would you have been off on the sick? Now, there's a lot that I'm going to talk about when I talk about, I'm going to talk about family input and things in the coming weeks, and, you know, some of the things that I want you to see as a perspective. But, you know, if you were in that position where you were employed by somebody else, what would you be doing right now? Because that's a good leveler. Because what I don't want you to have is the shittest spot in the world. If you'd have rang in sick this morning, then do as little as you want to on your business today. You know, you wouldn't have taken the piss, because I don't attract people who are piss takers. You would have been genuinely ill to ring in sick. If you were, you know, genuinely ill, ring in sick. If there are things happening in the family that would have meant that you'd have put a holiday in at work, put a fucking holiday in. It's okay. You know, when you are your own boss, we can be much meaner on ourselves. But run the test. You know, if I had a job now, what would I do? What would I do now? You'd have asked for the day off. You'd have asked for the time off. You wouldn't have been walking around worrying about all of the things that were happening. I don't have crap weeks if my family and I are still here. Winner, chicken dinner. Totally, Debs. Totally. And yeah, perspective. So that's another thing that I'm going to talk about as well. It's perspective. So If we talk about being a fail, I once nearly failed to stay alive. That's quite a big fail, isn't it? So, anybody got any questions for me? Because I have to go to the gym. Which isn't really top of my list. But again, it's about how will you feel afterwards, get the work done. You know, sometimes you don't want to do some stuff. And, you know, I could quite happily just get on and crack on with my work now. But equally, if I go and spend 45 minutes doing that, I'm going to feel shitloads better and my future self will thank me for it. I'm taking the day off to the gym and the shops while the girls are in school. Next week is launch week, so there'll be no free time. So I'm getting some time in now. Bloody brilliant. Absolutely perfect. True decor. Anybody want to ask me anything before I disappear? Anything coming through for anybody? And if you're not already part of the hub, now is the time to get involved. So that now is the time that you'll get it at the 10 quid a month. It is going to at least double on the 14th. So the price is going up. It's been the same since 2016. You get so much in there. It's worth more than the new price. So the old price that you can get right now is a bloody steal. The head teacher at my son's school has the motto with the kids, you can't do it yet. And it's true. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, one of the blogs that I put out this week was I'm not a successful business owner yet, which was written by one of my gorgeous rock stars who was resisting doing some writing and did some for us, which is beautiful, that you'll find back on the page and also on the Rebels and Rockstars website. Go you, I'm off for a walk with the puppy in the rain. Fabulous. I've had pup out this morning. Polly's already been out, so that's all good. Get in the hub. You will love it. And if you don't, you can leave anytime. Totally. We don't hold you to ransom because, you know, for us, it's so important in there that it's a supportive community and the energy is great and that everybody is, you know, there with one another to whatever extent they want. You know, there's no pressure to be involved, but we don't want, you know, you in there if you don't want to be there. So, you know, it is entirely your call as to whether you stay. But I would suggest you try it out for the sake of a tenner and for the fact that you can get the February planning workshop is already in there that I did on Monday. We're going to be doing mindset this Monday. We're going to be talking about loads of other things across the week. So for the sake of 10 quid, why not give it a try this month and see how it works for you, see how it fits for you. And if it doesn't fit, that's cool. That's totally cool. So you'll get out as much of it as you put in, really. You know, the more you ask questions, the more you get involved, the more things that you want information on, the more you'll get out of it. So have an absolutely epic and awesome Friday. I'm back in at around about 12 noon when I am talking to Amy Cruz about overcoming overwhelm and overthinking and getting out of your own way in business. So we will be on at 12 noon with that one. So until then, have an epic morning and I'll speak to you soon. Bye. Good evening, gorgeous rock stars. Happy Wednesday. How are we? It's Emma Holmes coming in live from Rockstar HQ. I hope that you are ridiculously well. Let's wait for Facebook to send out their little notification to tell us, there we are, that we are now live. So if you're joining us live, come on in, say hi, let me know that you're here. If you're watching the replay, you are equally and ridiculously as welcome. Good evening. How are you? So here in the UK, it's the evening. Where you are, it might not be, but it's lovely to have you here. It's lovely to see you. Hi, Jenny. Lovely to see you. Jenny sent me through a little testimonial about the Beyond Ordinary Business Hub earlier, and I'm ever so grateful to receive that, Jenny. Thank you ever so much. We are coming into the final straight of the Beyond Ordinary Business Hub being £10 a month. So it started off in life in 2016 at £10 a month, and now it's going to have to go up a little bit. So that's all good. It's all dandy. So love the lippy. Thank you very much. Thank you. We've got a book giveaway tomorrow. So tomorrow it's International Book Giving Day. So I am going to have a little bit of a competition on the page hosted by Mini Me, who has recorded the video, to let you all know that we've got a book competition going on. So eyes out tomorrow morning for that one. Now, we are talking tonight about staying in your own lane and doing your own thing, and you know how there is often this increasing feeling that lots of people are busy watching everybody else and not concentrating on their own business, not looking after their own thing, getting distracted, falling into comparison and all of that kind of stuff. So that is what I want to tackle this evening. I want to talk about that a little bit more. So I'm going to give everybody an opportunity to join us. I know it's probably quite a busy time for lots of people, but I thought that it was the perfect opportunity for us to have a little bit of a chat, for us to have a little bit of discussion, for us to see where you're up to with this one, because I want to talk a little bit about that feeling that, you know, there's a lot going on out there in the big world. There's a lot that you could be distracted by. There's a lot that could take your attention. There's a lot that can take your eyes away. There's a whole lot of conflicting advice and information. There's a whole lot of shoulds, ought tos, must do's, etc., etc. And when you are in business, there is so much that can leave you feeling completely kerfuddled. Do you ever get that feeling? Do you ever get that feeling that there's just so much information out there, and there's so much, you know, people veering off in different directions, and so many eyes looking at what everybody else is doing, and so many people concentrating on everything but their own field, and, you know, that there's just this kind of overwhelming sense that there's a lot there, and there's a lot to do, and there's a lot of people you know, following people who are in similar sectors to them, feeling like they have to keep an eye on the competition, worrying about what everybody else is doing, and feeling like, you know, that they have to make sure that that is what they're doing, and, you know, people thinking, oh, everybody else in my sector is following me, and all of that kind of stuff that can come up for everybody. Good evening, Sarah. I'm painting, I'm furniture painting while listening to you. That's lovely. That sounds very therapeutic. I'll have a little chat with you while you paint your furniture then. So, you know, I get it a lot. Well, I get specialists in their area coming to me and saying, you know, I've got other people who do the same thing as me, wanting to be in my Facebook group, wanting to do this, going and having a look at that. I feel like I'm being watched. Now, this is the whole copying thing, isn't it? That there's this fear that people are going to copy you, that they're going to try and do the same stuff as you do. And there is, you know, there is this that happens, and there isn't a day goes by where I don't see stuff that is similar to mine, or I don't get sent stuff that's where somebody goes, oh, this is too much like you, or I don't get, you know, kind of an heads up on something that's happening. And, you know, I don't follow anybody else in my space. You know, I am not, you know, I don't see anybody else as competition. I don't see anybody else as, you know, doing the same sort of thing as I do, because I work in very unique way, in my own way. I bring my own experience, I bring my own magic into what I do. And, you know, I don't see myself as being compared to anybody else. And, you know, I've had conversations in the past where, you know, like I've done these sort of calls where people have been talking about mastermind groups that they've got and things, and they go, you know, who would you say that you're similar to, or who do you aspire to be like? And I go, actually, nobody. What I aspire to be is the best version of myself, being able to show up in the best possible way that I can, being able to serve and support my audience. And I know that I do that my way. And yeah, that takes a little bit of time to be able to get into that space, and to be able to know, you know, that you are comfortable and confident with what you do and the results that you can achieve for people. I absolutely get that. But equally, you know, I find that if you are too busy bombarded by too many messages in the same space as you, that it can end up being that, you know, whether you like it or not, that you are inadvertently inspired by the stuff that you see. So for me, it's really important that I stay in my lane. I stay, you know, doing the things that I do, and I stay in the magic that I create, and I stay in my zone of genius, working on my stuff. That's really important to me. And, you know, when I see, you know, when I get people that say, oh, look at this, or look at that, and actually, to be honest, it's irrelevant to me. Lots of my one-to-one clients, I ban them from looking at what other people in their space are doing. You know, I will say to them, just stop that, because actually you're not achieving anything by that. You know, well, what could I do that's my version of that? I run the what is my version of that, but things from outside of my sector, things from outside of, you know, my niche, the work that I do. And, you know, it is about looking at within and what you want to create and what you want to achieve and what you want to share with your audience. And what I say to people is that business has, you know, it has a little bit of ingredients attached to it. There are standard ingredients attached to it, but we all have to sprinkle our own spice in there to make it our own. And it is important that we do make it our own. If you do feel like you've got, you know, and this particularly happens in Facebook groups and on Instagram, if you do feel like you've got a lot of other people looking at your stuff, a lot of other people's eyes that, you know, are the competition looking at your stuff, then actually that is it's nothing to get angsty over. You know, it's nothing for you to be concerned by. If you're staying in your own lane, if you're doing your own thing, if you're prioritizing your own stuff and doing it in your way, then actually it doesn't really matter what anybody else is doing. You are going to attract the right people for you. You become a magnet for the people that you can support and serve. And, you know, you are able then to let anything else go by the wayside and not have it as something that is, you know, massively under your scrutiny or massively under your skin, because it gets under your skin. It gets under your skin to the point where, you know, people will go to me that, oh, they're doing this, that and the other, and it's made them feel really angsty and really upset and really annoyed. Have you ever had that experience where, you know, you've gone away and looked at somebody else's stuff and come back going, you know, I absolutely ban my one-to-one clients from doing it. I know it's hard. I know it's really hard at the outset to do. And when I told one client to unfollow other people in her sector, she was like, well, how will I know what the competition are doing? You don't need to know. It's none of your business and you don't need to know. So it's really important that we start to stay in our own lane and that we make sure that our eyes are on our own stuff and our own support network and how we can grow and develop. There is enough work out there for everybody. You know, there is enough abundance out there for everybody. And it's about creating your own little corner of the world of the internet that is super nourishing and super relevant for your audience. You know, it doesn't matter what anybody else out there in the business space is doing. It doesn't matter what's going on. Jenny said there's 7 billion on this planet, loads of people to go around for everybody. Absolutely. Although there are other relationship coaches out there, nobody else does it quite like I do, so I don't see them as competition. Fabulous. You know, it is really important that when we look at things, and everybody is, you know, an expert in everything. And I read a post the other day that said, you know, you are an expert. Claim your expert status kind of feel to it. And I just went, well, what happens if you're not an expert? You know, it's a little bit of a devil's advocate question, isn't it? You know, what if you're not? Well, do you know what? An expert, and I spoke about this the other day, and it's more a label that other people put to you rather than that you put to yourself. And, you know, being ready and prepared to look at yourself and your zone of genius and how you help and support people and how much further along the road you are to your audience and, you know, the experience and knowledge that you can bring to the situation, circumstance, whatever it is, business life, whatever it is that you do. You know, it's super duper important because that is how you start to differentiate yourself. And equally, you know, you don't have to be, and I've had this conversation a few times this week, you can't be all things to all people all of the time. You know, if you try and please everybody, the only person that ends up dissatisfied is you. And actually, you're not then able to hugely impact people. You know, what you do is you do a smattering of impact on some people, and, you know, rather than going, you know, this is what I do, this is my area of expertise, this is my zone of genius, you know, and suddenly you see all of these people that do a little bit of something and then become that expert in that thing, or become that expert in that thing, or become that expert in the other thing. And, you know, when you're looking at help and support in the online space, it's really important that you use discernment and that you are looking at who is the best person for you who is the best person to help and support you. So when we're looking at, you know, staying in your own lane and doing your own thing, this is about shutting down the noise. This is about shutting down comparison. This is about stopping wasting time, effort, energy and attention on what everybody else is doing, because really what is important is what you're doing. And if what you're doing is wasting all your time, effort, energy and attention on what other people are doing, what you're doing is you're burning their fire and not your own. You're putting all of your logs into something that you have no impact or that you can't change in any way, shape or form, and your fire's just gone and fizzled out because you've wasted your logs over there. You've got angsty because so-and-so's doing this, that and the other, or that this person's got something that's similar to you in this way, that way and the other way. And actually what you need to do is that take your focus your way. If people are seeking to emulate the work that you do, there's different stages and elements of it. Obviously there's different ways that you can deal with it. There's different areas of how that line, you know, can be crossed, but as a general rule, if people are copying you, they have to wait for your next move and they'll always be a step behind. And whilst I've got stacks and stacks and stacks that can help and support you if you're feeling copied, you know, yell up, because we've got loads of YouTube videos and bits that will help you to make that call. But equally, you're always going to be a step ahead. You're always going to be innovating. You're always going to be pivoting. You're always going to be moving forward. You're always going to be evolving. Sarah says, I genuinely don't believe that I have any competition. Lots of people are Reiki healers, and it's not because I'm perfect, but I'm me. And if another healer suits them better, I'm just happy that they're getting healing. That is absolutely perfect. You know, there are plenty of business coaches out there. There are plenty of people that will help and support you to grow your business. I'm sure lots of them won't do it to the robust support that I'm prepared to do it. Lots of people aren't there to make a big difference. A lot of people are there to simply take the next sale and to make more money and to grow and evolve. There are lots of people out there that do give a shit, you know, but there are lots of people out there that don't. But equally, they don't have the same spice as I have, and have the same, you know, we might have the same backbone, as in we might all list build, we might all have digital products, we might all work with people one-to-one, you know, we might have the same core ingredients, but they don't have that similar, you know, nature to me, the way that I work, the way that I do things. They probably don't swear as much as me, most of them. But there we go. An expert in being the muddled up me. Yeah, and absolutely, that's what we are. We're an expert in ourselves if we allow ourselves to be. And if we allow ourselves to stay in our own lane. And if we allow ourselves not to be distracted by what everybody else is doing. And if we allow ourselves to, you know, take that time and effort and energy and attention and place it into our business, rather than looking over our shoulders, looking in that Facebook group that's, you know, run by somebody who does the same thing as us, or it's, you know, day to day. It can go on forever and a day, can't it? You know, if we're honest, we can, you know, we can take that forever and a day. You have a unique business intuition. I absolutely do. And I know what's happening in people's businesses before they even see it. So, you know, I create, what I say that, you know, we look at doing is we create bespoke strategies, because there isn't a one size fits all. We look at profitability and progress, which is really important all of the time. And we look at mindset, and then I sprinkle on top my magic and intuition, gut feeling, ideas, my whizzy brain, and all of that comes together to bring that perfect mix. And I often talk about the fact that, you know, for some clients I bring much more left brain stuff, and for other clients I bring much more right brain stuff, and I'm able to switch between the two because I work and switch between the two. And it's, you know, it's really interesting how we're able to do that. And, you know, sometimes one client needs all of my ideas, my zing, my, you know, whiz, and then another client needs structure and organising and supporting and creating a working environment that's going to work for them. We all have our own magic, personality and pizzazz. They might have similar products, but ultimately it's how you come across that attracts your clients. Yeah, absolutely. When we're looking at, you know, making sales, when we're looking at creating income, people buy from people. I know that that's completely cliche and can feel like it's, you know, hear it again, hear it again, hear it again. But it's really true. People do choose the right help and support for them based on where they are right now, based on who they resonate with, based on the messages that are being delivered, and all of that other stuff that comes together to create the perfect environment for them. And, you know, when you are too busy looking over there and distracted over here, you're not giving yourself the opportunity to grow, because your effort and attention is divided, is put into other people's businesses that you can't even influence. And we want you to actually take that back, take back your power. Don't let what other people are doing make you feel angsty, make you feel inferior, make you feel wobbly, make you feel like you don't know all, because what you know is how to be the best version of you. What you know is how to show up in your way. What you know is how to support your crowd in your way. And, you know, this is about you being able to step up and to be able to open that door to opportunity and to being in the place of talking to your crowd and interacting with your crowd and connecting with your crowd and giving yourself the very best opportunity to create an environment of magnetism. Because when you create an environment of magnetism, sales become easy. When you are, you know, present, when you are relaxed, when you are in that space of serving the pants off your crowd, when it feels like you are able to really show up, really be yourself, really connect with your audience, then the work that you do becomes much more magnetic. When you create that magnetic work that people really resonate with, or the right people really resonate with, should I say, because it's not about people per se resonating with your message, it's about the right people resonating with your message, then you create an environment whereby creating purchases is going to be so much easier. You're going to be able to create that environment to make more sales, to make more progress and profitability, because those two things are vital in your business. You know, we're always looking towards progress and profitability. How can you progress? How can you move forward? How can you get into a state and situation that becomes more profitable for your business and allows you to help and support more people? You know, I was talking today about the fact that, you know, if I boiled my business down and my career as a whole down to two words, it would be about empowerment and support. It would be about, you know, allowing people to release their own potential, be empowered to see their own potential, to believe in their own potential, to see their own strength, and to get through a situation that might feel really sticky and really icky and really horrible right now in order to see a better tomorrow. So if we go back to, you know, the fact that in the corporate land I was a family lawyer, I specialised in family law, but in particular in relation to domestic violence and child protection. So, you know, a lot of the work that I did was very distress-led work. It was people who had found themselves in situations whereby, you know, the world had fallen apart, everything was around their ankles, they had two kids and maybe no possessions whatsoever and had fled a really violent situation, or there'd been an issue where, you know, the children had been in a situation where you don't even want to know. But being able to empower people to change their reality was the root of that profession. It was about being able to support. It was about being able to empower. It was about being able to say to people that actually you might not see this right now, but I know that this path is going to take you here. I know that this bit's going to be difficult, but when you get through this bit, I know that that's going to be a whole new experience for you. It's going to be a whole new zing. It's going to be a whole new blah, blah, blah. And I am here every single step of the way for you. That is the ethos that I've brought into my business as well, is that I want to empower you to be able to do this. I want to show you that you are more than capable, that you are more than able, that you have got what it takes, that you have got everything that you already need inside of you. I want to be, you know, I want to prop you up if necessary and be able to help and support you to create a forward momentum, to be able to create a progressive and profitable business. So when we look at, you know, kind of that and I don't even know how I got onto this, but when we create that line that's gone through my career, it's been about empowerment and it's been about support. And I often sit down and work out, you know, sort of key words and phrases that do just align me back into what my business is all about. Which, there we are, which allows me to stay in my own lane, which allows me to continue to look at business decisions and say, is that in alignment with my ethos, and is that in alignment with being able to empower more people, support more people, move forwards in a different way. So it is really, really important that you keep your eyes on your own prize and that you don't deviate from that, and that you don't deviate from your crowd and the way that you work, and, you know, you don't try and wedge yourself into some sort of system or thing that doesn't work for you. I often hear people talk to me about miracle morning, getting up at 5 and doing all this stuff. And I had one client who, you know, she was on the bones of her ass when we talked. She's like, I'm trying to do miracle morning and I'm just feeling totally broken. I'm so tired. I'm so this. Don't do it. Don't do it. You know, the key to a successful morning routine is working out what works for you. It's not about doing the miracle morning, pet. And, you know, giving her that permission to do things her way and to look at miracle morning and go, it's a nice idea and it probably works for some people, but it doesn't work for me, and that's okay. And, you know, when we're running our business, that's the same approach to take, is to look at things and go, you know, is that a good idea for me or not? Because it might not be. If it is a good idea for me, what can I do with it? How can I make it my own? How can I, you know, infuse myself through it, put my spice on it? If it's not for you, it's totally okay. You don't have to. This is your business, run your way, under your rules. So what do you want to ask me? Is there anything at all that I can help and support you with this evening? I would love to have your questions. I would love for you to jump in and let me know what it is that I can help and support you with to make sure that I am ready to move forwards and to give you as much help and support as I can to create your business and to empower you to move forwards and empower you to do your thing. What would you like to ask me? Anything at all? Anything you want. Out. Are we still awake? Can we have some hearts at the screen to show me that we're still awake? Maybe. Have we got a bit late now? Are we a bit tired? It's not Woo Woo Wednesday, so it's not going to be on until dead late. Woo Woo Wednesday is on next week, though. I'm joined by Sarah Cornforth. It's Woo Woo Wednesday with a difference. We're talking about running your business by the moon next week, so that's a super interesting one for us. Oh, thank you for all your hearts. Remember as well that if you are not already a member of the Beyond Ordinary Business Hub, you have 24 hours-ish. Tomorrow is the last day to get it at £10 a month. It's been there at £10 a month since its birth in 2016, and it's been ridiculously valuable, been ridiculously value for money for all of that time. It will continue to be ridiculous value for money, but the price is going up. But if you are in before then please do get involved, because if you're in at £10 a month, your subscription stays at £10 a month as long as you keep your membership. So you get a whole library full of business development programs, masterclasses, all sorts in there, adding to it every month too, as well as live calls with me, Q&As, a gorgeous group environment that will make sure that you are well supported in your business and able to stay in your own lane and get the help, advice and support that you need in order to nurture growth and development in your business, rather than feeling like there's a gazillion and one things to do and all this stuff that you just don't know what to do with, don't know where to go with it, etc, etc, etc. You know, this is the place where you will be absolutely looked after in a community of other gorgeous entrepreneurs. I have a list for Magic and Momentum. I'll pop them in there. Brilliant. We've got Magic and Momentum call tomorrow, Judy, so we will be in there tomorrow. Oh, I've just bought the Moonology cards and book. Fantastic. I've got Moonology over there, I think, somewhere. Any questions that you want to ask me, anything that you want any help and support with, anybody on the fence about joining the hub, you know, we would love to have you in our gorgeous community. Just sitting going through that library now. Fantastic, Alison. Shout up in the hub if you've got any questions. Alison's one of our gorgeous new members, which is fabulous. We've had lots of new members over the last few days jumping in and getting their bargain before the prices go up. And, you know, I want you to get it before, but it's still going to be ridiculous value for money after. But you want to be in the same seats as everyone else, but have got them cheaper, don't you? Because that's always when you're winning at life. Fab, looking forward to it. When's your Feb break from school? Next week. Next week my kids are off. So it is mayhem next week. I've got some time that I'm going to be off and doing things with them, whether they like it or not, because they're now at an age where they don't want to go anywhere or do anything, just want to sit in front of computers and so I have to drag them out by their ears now. But yeah, we will be going out and doing some stuff, and there'll be a couple of days where I'm working and having a couple of days where there's a bit of fusion. So a couple of mummy days, couple of days of fusion, couple of days of work, and it's all perfect. I haven't even got that far yet, said Janice. What mine are with me this week, says Karen. Fab. I think Scotland are this week, aren't they? Mine are back tomorrow, flags at the ready. Yeah, Maggie finishes tomorrow and Jack finishes on Friday. So got one earlier than the other this time, which is, you know, it happens now that one's at secondary school and one's at primary school, but hey ho, it's totally cool. We can make it work. We can make it work. It's all good. So, any question? Mine are off next week too. This is trying to get stuff done this week in readiness. Fantastic. Same here. Half term scaring me for next week. You'll be fine, Janice. You know, I think that we decide how much emotion that we put into things like that. Again, school holidays were one of them things that I was conditioned to them being horrendous. And, you know, when I first started being self-employed, there was this big thing about how horrendous school holidays were and how you'd need to batten down the hatches and how you would need probably medication. But actually, you decide, you make the decision, you make the choice as to how much you're going to find it angsty or not, and how much you're just going to go with it. Because, you know, whether you feel angsty and uptight and yak about it or not, they're still going to happen, aren't they? Boys are off and I'll be a fusion of work and play, being on edge Mondays. Ryan has his first Navy interview. Fantastic. Have to let us know how he gets on. Love them to bits, but off you go. Yeah. Love you to bits, 5 minutes ago. So yeah, anything else that you want to talk about this evening? And is anybody thinking about joining us in the hub? Because we'd love to have you. And if you've got any questions, now absolutely is the time to ask them, because if you're feeling like, you know, you're not quite sure, or you've got 24 hours basically to get that reduced price, and like we said, we'd much prefer you to have the reduced price than pay more later, which is always a good thing. So anything that you want to ask, anything that you want to go through, earplugs and paracetamol for me next week, because they get a bit noisy online. Yeah, I've got some great noise muffling earphones now, and whether I put a podcast on or not doesn't matter. It just takes down the noise a little bit. I'm looking forward to the lie-ins, but not so much the cries of I'm bored on the first day. Thing is, Emma, right, what happens in this house is that I have to drag them out of bed to go to school. Next week when it's half term, they'll be out of bed like the bloody lark, I'll tell you. And they'll be jumping out of bed and ready to go. Gaffer tape should do it. I always talk about, you know, maybe if you put a bit of Velcro really high up on the wall or even on the ceiling. Does that make me a bad parent? But Maggie was funny tonight after school. She was talking about parenting, and she was talking about how you get a bit of peace when you've got a baby, and she went, maybe you could just knock them out. Oh, don't think we do that, Maggie. Parenting advice from a 9-year-old. Don't know where she's got that from. She used to have a baby that she used to put in the oven. She had a box and you would say, oh, is that the baby's bed? She'd go, no, it's an oven. Maybe we should let her have children. You could do a little pool of how long they stay stuck. Love that girl. Yeah, she's hilarious. And she is announcing tomorrow's competition. So if you want to win a copy of one of my books, it's International Book Giving Day tomorrow. So we are going to be running a little bit of a compo to win a book. So if you want to get involved with that, then you are absolutely more than welcome. Shimmy back over tomorrow and we can make sure that we help and support you to win a book. Because it'll be, you've got to be in it to win it. Right, I'm going to bugger off now. So have a lovely rest of your Wednesday evening. I'd love to see you in the Beyond Ordinary Business Hub if you're not already in there. I'd love to see you in there, well, if you're already in there. So it's great. Either way, it'd be lovely to have you in there. Have an absolutely epic day. Jenny says, my mum got youngest Graham a bit tipsy one night as she kept dipping his dummy in whiskey to numb his gums while he was teething. Give them a list of stuff to do. Yeah, absolutely. So we will see you very, very soon. What have I got coming up? Friday, I am interviewing Kate Spencer here on the Rebels and Rockstars page. Tomorrow, we've got the book giveaway. So there's still lots of things to get involved with this week. Have an absolutely epic rest of your Wednesday evening, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye. Good morning, good morning, good morning, gorgeous rock stars. Happy Wednesday. It's gorgeous to see you here. It is lovely, lovely, lovely to have you. And good morning. Good morning. Come on in and say hi. Let me know if you are joining me live. If you're watching the replay, you're equally as welcome. I am here because this word, disillusioned, was something that has been playing on my mind this morning. So who knows where we will go with this? Who knows what we will talk about here? But we are coming in with the word disillusioned. Good morning, Emma P. Thank you ever so much, Mrs. for sharing my post this morning about the shit stick. We're talking about disillusionment this morning. We're talking about that feeling of letdown and that feeling that things aren't quite going as they should be. Good morning, Debs. Lovely to see you. Morning, Rich. Lovely to see you. And that feeling that there is, you know, so much that promises and that doesn't necessarily deliver. And, you know, I think that the first thing that I want to touch on is self-disillusionment. So the fact that we are fed. Good morning, Janet. Lovely to see you. The fact that we're fed, you know, how easy it is to build a business these days. The fact that we're fed that you can go to from naught to gazillion in 3.6 seconds, working 2 minutes a week, whilst on a beach sipping cocktails, whilst we are fed all of this information that is designed to make us feel in lack, that is designed to provoke us, that is designed from a marketing perspective to raise our heads and for us to feel that these people have got this thing going on, talking about them, that, you know, that we're the ones that are in lack because we haven't made it easy, because we haven't made it work, because, you know, it's all us. And then the self-reflection becomes that we're broken and that we can't do it. You know, I think that there is so much of that that happens. Hi, Alison. Lovely to see you. And the vibrational undertone of lots of social media posts that we see is that, you know, you're a fail and that you can't do this and it's easy and I'm doing it in 2 minutes a week and look at me and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And yeah, that immediately makes us feel that we're in, you know, some element of lack and that we are, you know, the faulty ones. Do you agree with that? Is that something that you'd agree with, that there's this expectation of ease and that there's this expectation of not to gazillion in, like, is that something that you think is kind of the tone that you see a lot? I think I might be addicted to the building once it starts to work. I love it, but I lose focus. So what are you losing focus with, my darling? I wish, says Sue. Totally, says Janet. Fantastic. So I think that the thing is that It doesn't have to be hard. That's what I want to say to you, is that it doesn't have to feel forced, and it doesn't have to feel icky, and it doesn't have to feel difficult, and it doesn't have to feel like it's a push, and it doesn't have to feel you know, lots of negative and heavy emotions, because when you've got all of those negative and heavy emotions, it's really difficult to move beyond those, because, you know, they weigh you down, and they stop you really, I want to say, performing at your best level. So for example, if you were an athlete, and, you know, you were forever experiencing a unease and a inability to be that thing that, you know, you're watching on the telly, that person that, you know, that's top of their game, then, you know, you're never going to be able to get in your own lane and do your own thing and be able to find flow and ease and grace in what you're doing. You're forever going to be searching for the next secret, searching for the next thing, looking for the next thing that just keeps coming up, that keeps making it, you know, that chase. And I need that next #1 greatest secret. I need that next thing, because, you know, I'm obviously so far behind everybody else that I can't even trust myself. I can't even trust who I am. And, you know, you become disillusioned with yourself. You become disillusioned with social media. You become disillusioned with everything that is happening and everything that is going on. I work 9 a.m. till 10 p.m. with a few breaks, but getting nowhere. Others do it, so it must be me. Right, well, first of all, Debs, you shouldn't be working those type of hours every single day. You know, I remember what it was like, and I remember really, really vividly. It was in the house before this one that we lived in. My office was in the dining room. I remember sat in the corner in my office and going, right, it's midnight. What the fuck am I missing? What do I do now? What is it that I do now? How do I move forwards from here? And, you know, some of the revelation was that actually by working, you know, ridiculously long hours, and by, you know, really pushing all of the time, I wasn't prioritizing myself. I was, and, you know, I'm not going to go into kind of the artsy-fartsy sort of self-care thing, but I wasn't giving myself any time and space. I wasn't giving myself any opportunity and ability to become more creative. I was feeling that push. I was feeling that pressure. And, you know, I had a conversation not so very long ago with one of my clients about the word pressure, you know, and about, you know, whether she did actually have a whole load of pressure, or whether the reality was that she was safe, and the ability to reframe that situation into a safety situation, and into being able to see things with a different perspective, you know, allowed her to start to make more money, allowed her to start to see more return on her investment, allowed her to take smarter action. Because when you're tired, what you're going to do is you're going to take more desperate action. You're going to just try and tick the next thing off the list. It's going to feel hard. It's going to feel and, you know, it is going to be really, really difficult. Now, I will talk about, you know, some of the real core things that you need to be thinking about in your business. But yeah, you know, one size, as I always say, does not fit all. But, you know, when you've got this huge heaviness and this huge resistance and this huge feeling of, you know, that you're the one that's faulty, you're the one that can't do it, you're the one that, you know, isn't living this laptop lifestyle, or whatever it is that's coming on your radar, you know, it can become really overwhelming, and it can make you feel really, really, really rubbish. And it can result in you being less productive and less profitably productive. So you end up taking that kind of action that you just feel like you need to take. I've been there and done that, had the same thoughts too. I've decided to tell myself that there is obviously things that I need to learn before I get what I want, take the pressure off, and things will start to change. But I think that that is the case. And I think, you know, I talked about trust as well last night, and being able to, you know, trust in yourself, and how, you know, we are very easy to shrug off the input of other people and trust the ridiculous self-talk that we tell ourselves. And yeah, you know, we all have stuff that we can learn. We can all master new things and different things. But, you know, business changes really, really quickly. And, you know, everybody who is looking to build a business with longevity is always going to be a student. It's always going to be looking at different things and different opportunities, different ways of doing it, being creative in different ways, you know, feeling a different level of excitement and doing things in their way. You know, that's what's really important, is being able to tune into, you know, your own self as self and your crowd, and being able to bring the two together, so that what you're creating is something that is perfect for you, but is also incredibly attractive for your audience, something that they absolutely want to be part of, something that they absolutely want to be involved in. You know, when we look at disillusionment from a personal perspective, we've got to look at that rewrite of story. We've got to look at, you know, the fact that, one, if it was easy, every fucker would be doing it. Like, everyone would be doing it. Everybody would be self-employed. You know, there are certain characteristics that come with being somebody who is prepared to be self-employed, and there is never any certainty when you are somebody who is self-employed. But now there is no certainty in the marketplace anyway. You know, there's very few jobs out there that can be, you know, kind of the jobs for life kind of situation. Even public sector jobs that used to be the most safe and the most secure jobs are no longer that. So we do take risks, and we do have different things that, you know, we have to consider and do, and we do have to be much more self-aware. You know, I think that there's a huge element of self-awareness that comes into being self-employed. If you go to a job, if you do your work, if you go home and you go, office doors closed, I'm ready for the evening, then you don't have to analyze your performance. You don't have to be your own critique. I often say, you know, I am my own biggest critique. Now, that does not mean that I am super critical of myself. That doesn't mean that I, you know, am always beating myself up, always slapping myself around the head, always giving myself a hard time. No, 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 no. I'm using critique in the most truest sense of the word. Somebody who is analytical and looks at, you know, what is good and what is not so good, and, you know, what I could change and what I could evolve and what I could bring forwards from a very creative sense. Just some sales would make all of the difference. I don't expect a fortune, but I'm right on the edge of chucking it all in. I look around to see others being successful, which is great, and I'm pleased, but I'm losing the will. Now, that is really common, Debs, and, you know, it is something that absolutely we can help and support you with. And, you know, if we look at, Lisa, do you mind me sharing your story from yesterday, darling? If she's still around, I'll share her story, which might help and support you. But equally, you know, being part of our Beyond Ordinary Business Hub might completely help you as well, Debs, because that is a place where we can help and support you. We can nurture, you know, your activities and focusing on the right activities and doing the right things. So I'll pop that in and you can have a look at it. And, you know, that might be the perfect support place for you right now that would help you to get beyond that and to get that support and help that you're looking for. I'll let Lisa say if she's happy for me to share her story, but when we look at, you know, the fact that we are, you know, ready to throw it all in, and I would imagine that there's everybody on the feed this morning will have at some point have gone, do you know what, I'm going to go and look for a proper job. I'm going to go and find a proper job, because, like I say, it's not the easy answer. Being self-employed isn't the easy answer, but equally, it's only as hard as you make it, which I know sounds really like a slap in the face if you feel like you're in treacle. I've been there. I've been stood in treacle. I've felt that feeling. Lisa says not at all. Right, so Lisa's been immensely disillusioned by the sales that she has been getting through her website. She put out posts yesterday. I know she was getting disheartened. I know she was starting to feel like it was shit. I know that she was starting to go, what the hell can I do? I know that she had all of those feelings going on. And I know that she shut up that shop last night and she thought, well, there's more evidence that the website doesn't work. There's more evidence that I can't make the sale. And as the night progressed, the sales started to come in. We talked about the fact that, you know, people, and this is real evidence for her of a principle that I talked to her about, that people buy at different times and they move up to different devices, and we were looking at, you know, how her crowd would generally spend their time and what time of day they were generally going to make things happen. And, you know, that was that we looked at the fact that her audience of parents. She has a beautiful toy shop. I visited it. I know it's beautiful. She has a beautiful toy shop, and her crowd of parents, and the likelihood is that they're going to be at work during the day. They're going to make those online purchases once the kids are in bed on an evening. That showed as evidence of that, and those purchases started to happen. You know, that commitment and investment and tweaking the messages as we went and looking at, you know, what takes it from that's nice to, oh my God, give me that, was what we were looking at. You know, having that tweaking message, having that tweaking connection with what we're talking about and how we're actually creating that reality and making it happen. Joe says the first sale and I'm throwing a party. Fantastic. Woohoo! What are these mythical sales that you speak of? We can help you. You know, we can absolutely help you. If you are struggling to get that traction and get those sales happening, then be part of the hub. What I can do is there are already sales and selling stuff in the hub. There's already things in there, but we can also do a focus on getting those sales rolling, getting those first sales, thinking about how we're communicating our offers and our messages, because sometimes it is this tiny, tiny tweak. And, you know, with Lisa yesterday, it was adding a sentence. It was adding a sentence into what she was doing that made it go from, that's nice, to, oh my God, I need that. And being able to really reflect what we've got going on. Rarer than unicorns at the moment. But there's a way. I promise you that there's a way. Now, what I see is that there is, you know, this, there's this difference as we look at, you know, who's going to make it and who isn't. And, not, you know, anybody can make it. This is the big one, is that anybody can make their business a success, right? There isn't a set formula, but if you look at the different things that you can do, and if you look at the backbone of business, and I've got a business backbone that we share in the hub, and we look at then adding onto that backbone, working in your way and being able to connect with your crowd and being able to have that real connection with your audience, then you can do it. Not everybody will, because not everybody will be prepared to do some of the stuff that's a little bit scary. You know, there's loads of messages out there that talk about the fact that you've got to be fearless to be in business. You've got to be this, that, and the other. Bullshit. Let's get the button. Now, this is my favourite one. You don't have to be fearless. You don't have to be fearless in order to make your business work. What you have to be is prepared to be scared sometimes. You've got to be prepared to sometimes be uncomfortable and do things that are a little bit of a stretch outside of your comfort zone, that make you feel a little bit more kind of vulnerable, or make you feel a little bit more, I suppose, clenched. A little bit more clenched. And that's okay. That's totally okay. And as long as you've got a support around you that can help you with that and that can, you know, prop you up, you know, if there's people behind you that can prop your bum and help you to make that step, then it absolutely is something that you can do. Lisa says it was fab. It made me realise if I can get 3 sales, I can get 300. You so can. You know, that is the evidence. It's the evidence that you can do more. Because what we do is we call on evidence. And, you know, if there's some positive evidence and some negative evidence, we're going to go to the negative evidence. We're going to go to the evidence that we can't. We're going to go to the evidence that we're shit and that we're rubbish. That's how we naturally fall. But as we can bring in more positive evidence, then the self-talk can't live alongside evidence to the contrary. If you can sit there and go, you know, if Lisa goes today, oh, well, that was just a one-off. I can't make those sales again. Blah, 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 blah. You know, that's then going to take her back into that place of lack and that place of my website's broken, it's shit, I can't do this. Whereas if she really looks at those 3 sales and goes, right, so we tweaked a couple of words there and we got 3 sales. We made some differences. You thought about it a little bit more. You thought about it a little bit differently. You thought about, you know, the posts that you were putting out there rather than just putting a post out there because it filled a gap or because it was a sales post. Or, you know, I'm just going to share this thing that I've got for sale, whether it's product, whether it's service. You can't just go, I'm going to share this thing I've got for sale and expect everyone to buy it. You've got to look at how you evoke that, that's nice, path to, oh my God, give me that. I need that in my world. Whatever that is. You know, it could be things that feel a little bit more frivolous to you. It could be things that are hugely impactful. It doesn't matter. It's about evoking that feeling. Trudy says, getting the hub ladies, the help and support is phenomenal. Thank you, darling. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Lisa, I'm in a similar position. I feel your pain. My online sales are crap. I rely on footfall, which is like tumbleweed most weeks. So do we need to look at online sales in the hub? Is that something that you want me to do a bit of a micro focus on? Fearless, I'm most of the time I'm terrified, and that's okay. You know, if you're prepared to sit in your discomfort, you find new levels of comfort. You find new levels of being able to really harness what you're doing. Love that button, says Anna. I've got scared, fear and vulnerable sorted. Fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous. So when you're feeling like this, you know, it is about looking for what can I do and how can I move forwards and where is the best help and support that is available to you. And again, you know, this is another one where you can feel disillusioned. You can have, you know, got into certain things and, you know, read that blog and thought, right, well, that's all well and good, but how does that work for me? You know, you've bought things where you haven't had any real help and support. You've got things going on that feel like, you know, you are, you know, now that you've paid your monies, nobody gives a shit. You can become incredibly disillusioned by the support that's out there too. Promise you that I will do everything that I can to support my rock stars, whatever level they come into my business, whether they come in and become part of the hub, whether they come in and become a one-to-one client. You know, I will do my very, very best to help and support you. I did another training course yesterday and now feel more confident of what I can offer as an EFT practitioner. I think my lack of self-belief is blocking me. Well, Joe, the first thing that I want to say, and it's something that I've shared again before, is that if you don't believe in you, how can I believe in you enough to grab hold of my purse and get my money out? Right? If you don't believe in what you're offering and what you're selling and you don't have that level of belief, I can't believe enough to open this zip. That is so important. You know, that belief in product, belief in service, belief in self has to come. And yeah, at first you might need to borrow that belief. And lots of my clients borrow belief from me. You know, if you can't believe in yourself right now, then I can truly, truly, truly show you and help you and support you in creating that belief in yourself. But in the meantime, if you need to borrow a little bit of my belief, then knock yourself out. I can totally help you with that. Keep going and you will get the sales. Yeah, and it's just tweaks. It's tweaks, changes, keeping, you know, the momentum, keeping the consistency, getting the messaging right, getting it out there, making sure that you're not, you know, feeling like a shrinking violet that can't actually produce anything that is going to, you know, really make that impact. So it is about keeping going. It is about keeping doing the things, but it is about getting the support around you that can absolutely help you. I need some of your belief again. You got it, girl. Let's get into your board and let's get you really rocking. You know, I know that what you can do is brilliant. Absolutely. I was stuck on a particular thing and now it's sorted. Been out putting my business cards locally this morning. I'm out there. Well, you know, we can absolutely help and support you to make that change and to continue that momentum. And if anybody does want to join the hub, if they're not already part of it, it's there. It's 10 quid a month for the lifetime of your membership. As long as you stay a member, you're going to keep getting it at £10 a month, but the price is going up next week. So on Valentine's Day, which is next Thursday, the price will be going up per month. So you might want to get in there before the price rise. So come on, open floor. What do you want to ask me? What do you want to know? What can I give you some more help and support with? What content do you want coming out here on the Rebels and Rockstars page? What can I help you with? Because now is the time to shout up, ask me, let's get going. Da, 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 da. What can I help you with? Morning, Mandy. We've talked about disillusionment. We've talked about feeling like you are disillusioned with self. We've talked about feeling like you're disillusioned with the world and the industry. And you might want to shimmy back and have a listen in. But in the meantime, I am open floor. Whatever you want to ask me, is there anything that's going on? I need a belief boost, I think. Right, well, come on into the hub, Em. You're part of the hub. Come on into the hub and let's give you some help and support and guidance of moving forwards from where you are. Come and tell me what you're working on right now too. Best platforms, Etsy, own website. Always own website over Etsy. I would say that you should establish your own website first. Multiple platform selling is a good idea. Etsy has changed the boundaries quite a lot recently. The pricing and charging on Etsy is far from transparent and has become quite expensive. So if you're going to be driving traffic, I would say that first of all, get your own website set up, then seek to look at multiple platform selling so that you can be found in different places in different ways. You know, what you want to be doing is being able to take your traffic and your crowd, and when you're talking about your stuff, taking it to your website so that you're getting the most profitability that you can out of the things that you're selling. Then look at adding other streams and other platforms to that. Janice says, I just feel lost. Come and join the hub, darling. Let me help you. I really, really want to help you. I really want to help you. Keep the momentum going with the online sales. What's next? Well, tell me, what is next? What have you got for sale? What are you going to be talking about? What's the focus? Let's look at how we can make sure that you continue that momentum and, you know, we continue to get that message blob on with each and every one of your products and how they are going to absolutely change the world for your crowd. Bring it into your board and I will help and support you with that, Lisa. Let's keep you going in a big way. I need a kick to get going again. Right, let's go through it, Karen. Karen is also one of my gorgeous supernovas and magic and momentumers. So, you know, come on, let's get you going. I got burnt on Etsy. Lots of people have recently, you know. Anna's here as well. Sarah Cornford's had problems with Etsy with the charges going up. Always, always, always start with your own website. Facebook Shop's fab as well. Yeah, absolutely it is. Emma can help you. Oh, thanks, Anna. Etsy fees are ridiculous, but it can be a gateway. Yeah, you know, it's one of those things that once you've got your own home base sorted out and you're driving traffic to your home base, so everybody who's coming across you, you're sending them to your home base where you're going to make the best profit margin out of the product. Then look at, you know, things that are going to actually give you less of a return, but get you in front of a different audience. Then becoming smart with, once you're in front of that different audience, popping a little slip in with their order so that they can come back to you directly so that you can continue that build, continue that build, continue that build. Stick a few of the most popular items on Etsy, and when you send them the products, make sure you have a leaflet or something. Yep, that's exactly what I just, yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Da, 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 da. Anything else? Anything else you need help with? Anything else? I've been lurking for a while and I'm a bit shy. Hi, Carol. It's lovely to have you here. Everybody is absolutely 100% welcome here. I don't feel my business was big enough to join. However, this chat has given me the confidence and I've joined the hub. Brilliant. What I want you to know is that here at Rebels and Rockstars, right, I work with business owners who are ready and who want a bit of support and who feel scared, and they're at various different stages in their business. We've got complete startups in the hub to people who are absolutely bloody rocking their business, and nobody's business is insignificant. Nobody's business is, you know, not a proper business. That's not how we work here. We embrace all sorts of business because every single business is totally worth their positioning and help and support. And whether, you know, lots of people come to me and go, you know, I've got this spiritual business and I've got this, you know, spiritual business and it's this, that and the other, and, you know, or I've got this making business, and it's, you know, it's not really a proper business. You're all proper business owners, all right? You are all able to reach out and get the support you want, because my big thing is that I want every single one of you to fulfill your potential, and different people will see different areas of success. You know, for some people, success will be one thing, and for other people, success will be something completely different. The very first time I created targets, and it's around here somewhere because I found it when I was clearing out. I wasn't clearing out like, you know, the lady off Netflix. No. That's not my bag. But my first set of targets was £400. And, you know, that was that ability to then go and, you know, create more, create a different reality, move forwards a little bit more. And, you know, success to me is about impact and, you know, the impact that I make. And if I can help you all, and if I can throw the stone into the pond and that ripple can go out further and further and further and further and further, then I can absolutely support you in doing this. I am doing my newsletter today. We'll bring it to the board, but I want it to be super exciting, fun, and give great value to my crowd. Let's do it. Thank you. None of my family see that. Do you know what? Sometimes, and I've had this conversation with a few people. Number one, if you're not self-employed, it's really hard to get it. All right. My husband has some really good ideas about what I should be doing in business. Some of them, you know, there's something in it, and I can take it a little bit further, and, you know, from the outside I can see that there's something a little bit different, and it can give me another idea to go off in another direction. Equally, you know, if it is something that's ridiculous, I can just pop it in the bucket. The other thing that you've got to know is that if you are always bringing a real kind of sad, a real kind of heavy energy when you talk about your business into the family situations, they want to protect you. They don't want you to feel like that. You know, if you've got a really stressful week coming up and, you know, there's things happening and there's things going on, they'll go, I don't know why you're doing it. I don't know why you bother, because it's making you feel really shit and it's this, that and the other and da-da-da-da-da-da. That you take that as, I'm a big fail, they don't support me, you make it mean something really, really hard. If you're bringing a huge level of heaviness into what you're doing and you're saying to people, you know, oh God, I'm really tired, and another day without sales, and I'm rubbish at this, and da-da-da-da-da. You know, if you're really wrung out, like really wrung out, they want to protect you. They want to protect you. And when you can't, you know, you make it mean something else. And usually their very best intention is just to look after you. And what you've read that to mean is, they don't support me, I'm a big fail, they don't get it. You know, I know that when I'm running up to an event, you know, I get quite high on energy, and I get quite kind of, and it's just my way of entering into events. It doesn't mean I shouldn't do events. It does mean that I should be more mindful of my energy entering into events. But often, you know, my hubby can see that and go, oh God, are they really worth it? Yeah, they are. They are really worth it. But it's about how I manage my energy on the run up to it. And I'm much more conscious of it now. You know, a few years ago, it would have kind of wiped me out, and it would be, you know, that's totally not worth it. My family are like that, but I've totally turned it around because I believe in me, so they have no option. And you've given them evidence that you've now got that thing going on, and you're not going to them with that heavy energy and saying, you know, I'm a big fail, I can't do this, You know, you're going to them and saying, yeah, I've got this going on and it's great and I'm loving it, and, you know, I'm making things happen. And, oh, Karen Pennell, I made more sales in January than I did in December. You know, you've got it going on, girl. That is true, what you've just described. Yeah, and it's important that you make sure that, you know, you keep that energy regulated and that you look after yourself. Any last questions before I disappear off, because I've got a little bit of project work that I'm working on that I want to get nailed this morning, which is kind of the evolution of rebels and rock stars and how you know, we continue to move forward from here to make sure that we help and support you in the best and truest possible way. If you're joining us in the hub, we would love, love, love to have you. Like I say, if you get in before next week, it's 10 quid. Bloody priceless, to be honest, to be in that community, get that help and support and be around those people. And it's going to double next week. And it's still going to be cheap as chips for what you get. My absolute pleasure, Debs. Anything else anybody would like before I bugger off? Because my coffee's quite cold as well, which is obviously an issue that we can't have going on for any long periods of time. Let's see, any more for any more? Are we all good? I think we look like we're all good. So have an absolutely epic and awesome Wednesday. I'm back later on tonight for Woo Woo Wednesday with a difference, because we are looking at numerology later on today, which is ever so very exciting. So if you're around at around 8:30 p.m. this evening, we would love it if you would join us for that. And if there is anything particular that you want me to cover on the page, if there's any particular you know, bits of business that are feeling sticky or bits of business that you want extra support with, either pop it in the comments or let me know via DM or over on email, emma@rebelsandrockstars.com. We can make sure that we either signpost you to the stuff that you have got going on, or we can create stuff that will help you. You're like my coffee fix for the day. Adrenaline and excitement uploaded. Have an ace day. Speak soon. Bye.